Well, we've finally gotten to the 33rd week in ordinary time, and Advent is approaching fast. I'm on my way home to Connecticut from Seattle, Washington, where there was an incredible gathering of the Black Catholic Advisory Council for the Archdiocese of Seattle. And in attendance was the eminent Wilton Cardinal Gregory, Father Anthony Bozeman, Father Martin Luther King, yes, that's his name, a good friend by the name of Deacon Joe Connor and his wife Barbara, who hosted us. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. Well, we're on our way home, and as I looked at today's readings that come from the 19th chapter of Mark's Gospel, of Luke's Gospel, we see that Christ is on his way to Jerusalem, and he stops in Jericho, or on the way to Jericho, and he's walking, and he understands and sees that there's a man sitting up in a tree, and he calls out to him to come down, and he knew his name. Come down, Zacchaeus, for I will dine with you. And Zacchaeus, flustered because he just wanted to have a sight of Christ, comes down, and Christ looks at him, and all of the folks around there, the Pharisees and the better than thou, said, why is he eating with that man? He is not only a tax collector, he is the chief tax collector. Well, Zacchaeus was understanding who and what he was. He kind of forgot whose he was, but he knew who he was, and he repented and said to Christ, those I have cheated, I will repay. Those who have done wrong, I will do better. And Christ eats with him. And here's the thing that really struck me that we didn't see in today's reading, but Christ says that repentance has come to his house, that salvation has arisen within him, that he has done wrong, but the objective is to find those who have been lost. So many of us have been lost in those things we've gained, those things that we think are important, as Zacchaeus did. But there's always hope. In the midst of calamities, there's always hope. I'm going to tell you a story. It goes back to 1957. I was 12 years old, and my family had just moved to a new community in Chicago. Its name is Chatham. And we were one of the first Black families to move there. And that first Sunday morning, my mom walked us to church. And there we entered, and all of the faces turned. And the priest from the altar said he was not interested in having the new Black families come to his parish. My mom was quite upset. And on the way home, she muttered, that man is not going to put me out of my church. From that day forward, my mom went to daily mass, sat in the front pew. The bravery, the courage of my mother is what led me to recognize that we who are Black and of color often had to fight to stay Catholic, and I will never leave the Catholic faith because I have come to recognize the joy, the beauty, the strength, and the courage it took for my mother to confront the truth. And you know what's interesting? The priest who had rejected us, after a few years, came to our home to bless it and to apologize to my mom and to us. You see, there's always room for forgiveness and repentance. And you know, that's why I think I wake up every single morning and say, Lord, what are we going to do today?